Welcome back to Brentford Fan TV. In this video we will be reviewing our 4-0 away win at Leicester and then looking towards our next game in Everton at home. So Ben, starting with Leicester away, what are your general thoughts on the 4-0 win?
I thought it was a great performance from us. We completely outplayed them and there wasn't much. To be fair, they didn't put up much fight.
Yeah.
They had one chance in the first half and didn't really defend too well. Just take an example, let's move on to the first goal. Wissa scored, but it was a brilliant pass from Damsgaard. Completely uncontested through the middle of their defence.
Yeah. I think it's really poor showing from Leicester. You think they sort of held Arsenal out for 70-80 minutes before they lost 2-0, but they couldn't hold us out for 10 minutes and then they were 3-0 down in 30 minutes or whatever. And so, it's a really bad time to be a Leicester fan. I think Leicester fans are starting to think they're going to go down. Obviously, with a good run of wins, they can stay up. But I think everyone's starting to think it's going to be Southampton, Leicester, probably Ipswich going down, and then Wolves to stay up. Which would be another season of all the promoted teams going back down. But that's just how tough the Premier League is. I thought it was really good from us in terms of no excuses, just getting the job done within half an hour, within the first half, and we could just play it safe for the rest of the second half, get some youngsters on. And as we said, it was just a great win.
Yeah, it was all of our players played well. I can think of examples like Shardo doing well, or actually taking on defenders, putting passes in and everything. It was all good. And then in Mbeumo, he scored another great assist from Damsgaard. But this again is one of the typical Brian Mbeumo goals.
Yeah, I think we said in the pre-match video, and I saw other people say it on other channels, but recently, Mbeumo seems to he always cuts in so well, as he always does, but he's been going to the near post so often recently, and it worked against Arsenal, against David Raya, but it hasn't worked since. When we've seen so many examples of him going across goal, and it just goes in, and defences don't have a chance. He did it, and it worked.
Yeah.
And so hopefully he continues to do it, or maybe varies it up every now and then. But as we said, it's Mbeumo back to his best. He often doesn't play that well away from home, being honest. But it was a really good performance from him. 1 goal, 1 assist. He got and in the game before he also played well at West Ham away. So Mbeumo back to his best. Wissa was on the score sheet, and in that first half, Norgard also got a goal.
Yeah.
And it was, as we said, game's done. And it's all down, in my opinion, to Mikkel Damsgaard. He just dictated that game, and he dominated that first half. And it was second half, he didn't even have to do as much, because by that time, we were just cruise control.
And to be honest, I can't even think of a moment where the defenders and goalkeeper had to do anything.
Apart from the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, apart from that one Vardy chance.
Yeah.
That Pinnock held him out, battling him, and then Vardy just got past, but still a good save.
Yeah. And so now this is 4 away wins in a row for us, which it's crazy because the first half of the season we didn't win an away game all season, and then we won 4 in a row on the trot. And so honestly, really impressive from us.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very opponent dependent. I'd say we've this season been losing to all the good teams, beating all the lower half of the table teams. But
and it's great because never before did we even win 3 away games in a row, and now we've gone and won a 4th in a row, which is incredible to see. Great to see our form improve away, but then we'll talk about the home form later.
Yeah, and so quickly on Carvalho as well. He came on in the game and he got a goal in the last few minutes, and he looked happy at full time. He was happy to score his goal. All the players were happy for him, and I don't know. For me, Carvalho is a really weird case because, in my opinion, he doesn't really fit the system that we play. He's not quite what Damsgaard is in terms of passing ability. He's more of a number 10 who will go on and score a couple, whereas Damsgaard's more of an assisting player.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't really fit in at right wing, left wing striker for me. So
no, he doesn't.
For me, I think Thomas Frank struggles to get him to fit into the system. This is why he's not been getting the game time. And because, to be honest, in lots of previous games, he's only been subbed on in the last few minutes. This one he had, 10, 20 minutes, and he got a goal.
Yeah.
And I think he definitely has the quality, because in Wolves at home, that was his last goal, or last league goal. And I thought, the good players turn up in the right positions and finish them.
Yeah.
And if he's already doing that in his first season, whereas someone like Damsgaard, he couldn't do that for, 2 seasons, I think it's a really good sign.
Yeah, it is.
We just have to hope Carvalho can stay patient, his dad can stay patient. But yeah, hopefully it's a sign of good things, and he can, build up in our squad.
And hopefully all that it needs for him to start playing consistently and playing well is just Thomas Frank to think a little bit about the system. Because I feel like he's good enough to just... Where Thomas Frank will find a place for him, he'd suddenly... Yeah, he wouldn't need a bit of time to get into form.
Yeah. I mean, I remember it was also our last home win. I think I was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now. Our last home win was the start of December in the Newcastle win, which is so long ago since we've won a home game.
Yeah.
But in that game, Carvalho started, and it worked so well, that system, that day. I think Damsgaard was actually benched, just for rotation sakes, but yeah, Carvalho started that day. He played really well, the attack played really well, and we won 4-2, so it can definitely work. We just sort of need to see it happen.
Okay.
Moving on to Everton at home, it's not going to be an easy game because they're in very good form, and David Moyes has got Everton playing really well. He's got the crowd fully behind him. The fans are beyond happy right now with how they're playing. And you know what? It's a good time to be an Everton fan.
It probably is, yeah. Since his appointment, he's lost one game, and that was the first game against Aston Villa. And since then, won every game, except 2, which are draws to Man United and Liverpool.
Yeah, and you know what? In that Man United game, I thought they should have had the penalty, in my opinion. Ashley Young went down in the box in the last minute of the game. The referee gave the penalty, and VAR told him to go to the monitor. And you know what? This is a bit of a tangent on VAR, but I thought it really frustrated me, because for me it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And when Ashley Young did go down, he made a bit of a meal of it, but De Ligt and Maguire both had their hands on him and pulling his shirt, and so yes, it's soft, but I don't know if it's grounds for the referee to overturn it. And so, you know what, I think Everton fans could feel a bit robbed. But in that game, obviously Man United aren't a great team, but Everton were by far the better team for 72 minutes before Man United finally had a sniff at the game. And so he's got them playing really well. We just got to hope we do our thing. The front 3, the front 4, for us, they just sort of play their best, how we know they can, how they did at Leicester, how they did for the first half against West Ham, and we just got to hope that we can do what we're good at and get the win.
Yeah, and since I of course I don't really know the points difference between them and us before Moyes was appointed, but now it's only 6 points. We're on 37, they're on 31, and it's just they had such an increase in form and how well they're playing from this new manager, and I think this will be a very tough game.
Now moving on to our predicted 11 for Everton at home. In goal, Flecken, nothing much to say there. In defence, going Ayer, Collins, Pinnock and Keno's Potter. As well, once again, nothing much to say there. Ayer's playing pretty well right now. Coyote wouldn't get in over him, he's still learning the system, he's still new. Collins, obviously, player of the season, arguably.
Other than Damsgaard.
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the league right now, in the defensive positions. And then Pinnock, obviously, I'd prefer Vandenberg, but Pinnock, he's replaced him due to Vandenberg's injury. And Keenum's Potter at left back, once again, can't complain. He's been brilliant this season at left back. He's
been really good. A lot of people are probably going to think he's naturally a left back now.
Yeah.
And but moving on, midfield, and it's the exact same 3 that has played every other game. Norgard and Damsgaard. At this point, it's too good to change. We're playing really well with them 3. Damsgaard, of course, being a bit higher, creating more of the chances, whereas Janelt and Norgard playing more holding. But then...
Yeah, and also, I feel like Jensen should have a shout of going into the midfield,
Yeah.
but he wasn't even on the bench against Leicester. So whether that was maybe something personal in his life, it was busy,
Or illness even.
or maybe an injury or a slight knock. Not too sure. I feel like there might have been a press conference. I saw something on it, but I really can't remember. And so hopefully Jensen's at least back in the squad for Everton at home. Yeah.
And then Mbeumo, Wissa and Sharda up front. All three of them had an amazing game against Leicester. With Mbeumo and Wissa getting on the score sheet and Sharda having some good chances. But
Yeah, nothing much to say there.
yeah, they play every week. We don't really have any other options.
Yeah.
So
we're lucky that none of them are getting injured right now. Because, well, when Wissa did get injured, we were playing Sharda up front and he really struggled.
Yeah, and also all three of them have had injury issues in the past. So
yeah,
it's good that at this minute in time, they're all right.
It doesn't help that the two forwards we signed in the summer, one being our record transfer fee, is been injured all season, apart from he played 1 or 2 games. And then the other one, Gustavo Nunes, he hasn't played yet for us. We bought him knowing he had a back injury, but apparently he could be back for the end of the season. Could. But like that, I think that's a terrible deal. You know, you spend 10, 12 million on a exciting winger, but he's not going to play for an entire season. Not worth it, in my opinion.
No.
Should have invested it somewhere else or on someone else. But yeah, that's the predicted 11. As we said, same as last week.
Yeah.
Time for the score predictions.
Yes. I will go first this time. I think this will be a very tough game, and I was tempted to put a loss or a draw, but I've decided to predict a 1-0 win. And I just think, at the minute, against... but Everton are a good side now. I'm still going with the prediction, but I don't know what to say. You talk about.
Alright.
I'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'm going to predict a 2-1 win. I don't know if that's more sort of my heart or my head speaking, because as you said, Everton are a really good side, and a draw is probably pretty likely, but I'm going to say 2-1 win. I'm going to have faith in our players.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that recently we've actually been really good defensively. On our last 3 home away games, we kept a clean sheet. We conceded 2 in like our last 3 or 4 away games. Home games. Sorry, I'm so used to us having good home form and bad away form. But yeah, 1-0 I feel like is, if we win, a realistic scoreline to predict.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else for us to say in this video. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. And we should see you in the post-match vlog and maybe immediate reaction.
Yes.
So see you then.